Good afternoon, everyone.
During that time.
I see the front table heard me. I just want to make sure everybody heard me. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you. See, I'm a person who feeds off energy, and there's so much good energy in this building, I don't want to waste it. So I want to make sure everybody is alive and everybody is engaged. Welcome to the new Alumni Center. Isn't it beautiful? So my name is James McCrae, and I am the director of Camp Michigania. I'm still getting used to saying that. But I have the honor of opening our program today. Today really is about this building and this new space, but it's also about our president, Steve Grafton. He keeps saying it's not about him, but it is about our president. So I want to welcome everybody that is in this room, out in the lobby, downstairs, outside at the tent, and all of the people that are watching online right now. So we've got a lot of people paying attention to this moment right now. I am overwhelmed because this building has actually been open for a while, and we just didn't have any people in it. And this is overwhelming and filling my heart because it's like the before times right now. And I just am so appreciative of all the people that are here. Thank you for coming out. I do want to take one moment to say, like I said, it's about Steve Grafton today as well. I've worked at the Alumni Association for 21 years. I know, I don't look it, right? But in those 21 years, Steve has always been there as a part of my career. And there are so many people who have worked here that can say that. Not everyone has a leader who is supportive, who encourages, and when, you know how sometimes your boss says the door is always open? Well, I actually took him up on that, and there was never a time where I felt that I wasn't welcome. So I wouldn't be standing here today if it wasn't for this organization and the leadership of this organization. I've seen two of my great mentors now retire, and Jerry Sigler, who's back working, so he didn't do too good at it, and now Steve Grafton. So I just want to say a personal thank you, Steve, for all that you've done for me in my career. And now, I also am here to introduce our first speaker, who has so many accomplishments, so many, but if you ask her, she talks about one, and that's being a mother, the most important one. For me, again, we talk about support, and we talk about a board of directors that is accessible, that are great leaders, and that just really, really are passionate about our organization. So I would like to welcome up, and you all can help me welcome, our board chair, Kathleen Wilsonowski.
Good afternoon. If I were willing to serve, and absolutely I said yes, because one, nobody says no to you, Steve. You got that all shucks kind of way. And more importantly, it was just an honor to be the chair of a great association and the chair of a great board of directors. And if they're still here, could you please rise so that we could be recognized? That said, we do have a long list of people who want to celebrate you, Steve, so I'm going to be brief, but tonight they told me I get the podium again. So I will share some very heartfelt comments at that time, but one thing I do want to say to all of you, and it's to quote Maya Angelou, and many of you know this, but Steve is the embodiment of it. Maya Angelou, in one of her quotes, said, "I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." And Steve, you have made me feel like I am included. I am one of the leaders and the best, and I am your friend. And I thank you. So, let me bring up our first speaker, which is Tom Hawkins, our treasurer of our board of directors. Tom?
Well, I'll tell you, listen to what Jean said and what Kathleen said, and it really tells you a lot about Steve Grafton. He's accomplished so much as the CEO of the Alumni Association, and there are very few people who can succeed the way that he did. Some people succeed by what they know, other people succeed by what they do. There are few that succeed by the kind of person they are, and that's Steve Grafton. Steve leaves a real legacy here at the Alumni Association, and that was something that we all recognized when he told us of his intention to retire. And so the board of directors decided that in recognition of Steve's profound impact, that we would lead a giving initiative to honor him for his many accomplishments here as the CEO of the association. So I'm pleased to share with you that more than $1.2 million was raised during this initiative from current and former members of the board and other generous donors to the association. These gifts will support a variety of different areas that have been important to Steve during his tenure as CEO and for the Alumni Association in the years to come. More than $400,000 will support the new Steve Grafton Lead Staff Endowment. This endowment has been established to ensure that we have sustainable resources for the future for our dedicated staff who recruit and engage with over 270 lead scholars annually. Over $200,000 will support the Steve and Carol Grafton Lead Scholarship Endowment. This fund was established years ago by Steve and his wife Carol to support one lead scholar annually. And now, with the many generous gifts from the members of the board, the endowment will distribute enough funding to support as many as 3 Grafton Lead Scholars annually. And that's something $500,000 was given to name the Steve Grafton President's Suite in our newly renovated facilities here. This generous gift came from an anonymous donor, and we are grateful for this person to honor Steve with the space that will allow our new president and future presidents to lead with innovation from our Alumni Center. In addition, we received gifts in honor of Steve to support Camp Michigania. One special gift will help the camp to acquire its own team of horses for its popular riding program. Something that's been important to Steve over the years and the many campers who love the riding program there. Finally, we're pleased to recognize the staff members of the Alumni Association here who gave of their own resources and money to generously support the Lead Scholars General Fund. This in Steve's name. This fund, as you may know, helps the short-term efforts that may be needed for lead students in the lead community throughout the year. Raising $1.2 million to honor Steve shows the high regard for which people hold Steve as a leader and as a person. He is nothing short of a remarkable human being. For this recognition of Steve Grafton, and for the many folks who contributed funds to honor him, and for the efforts of Shamila Kinnear, who is our Chief Development Officer at the association, who made all of this happen, I give them a huge round of applause. It's now my pleasure to invite Paul Brown, Chair of the Board of Regents of the University of Michigan, to make some remarks about the rededication of our facility and about Steve. Regent Brown received his BA and MBA degrees from the University of Michigan and has been a longtime friend of the Alumni Association. He has had a distinguished career as a Michigan alum and is currently managing partner of eLab Ventures, a venture capital firm headquartered in Michigan with offices in the Silicon Valley. Regent Brown is the board chair of the Michigan History Foundation and also serves on the board of the Wolverine Mutual Insurance Company. Please help me welcome Regent Brown.
Thank you. This is really humbling to be in this room. There's a lot of people I know well, know of well. It's maybe kind of a security risk to have this much of the brain trust and supporters in one room. But truly humbling to think of the impact that all of you have had on this institution, which will carry on, we think, in centuries, as we say on the board. The impact that will last that long, and how many students and people and in society that all of you will affect so strongly. So thank you, all of you, for being here. And of course, in many ways, we're really here, I'm really here to thank Steve. This is a huge organization to run, the largest alumni association in the world, of course. But I mean, seriously, when you're that handsome and that tall, no matter how hard it is, you can make it look good, right? It is amazing. But it has been fun. You're the only Alumni Association director I've ever known. And I'm not actually that young, so it just shows how long you've been doing it. But you know, the leader of countless bowl tours and trips. I can't hear a countdown of 1, 2 without thinking in my head, you know what to do. But one that was particularly close to me was this past year, the Board of Regents held its first ever meeting in northern Michigan. I'm from a small town in northern Michigan. We went to kind of my ancestral home north of the bridge in St. Agnes, and Steve and his staff were instrumental in making that a huge success, because as Board of Regents, we feel that understandably the taxpayers, the citizens of Michigan, we work for them, and it's our job to demonstrate our value that we give to them and listen to them on how we can provide even more value. And that trip truly succeeded in that goal in large part because of you and your staff. So personally, thank you so much for that. Importantly, Steve has provided leadership and vision and found the necessary resources of U of M alumni donors to expand this elegant renovation of this building. The beautiful building was obviously reopened in November, and it really does epitomize the Go Blue spirit. So thank you everyone that has helped, and thank you to Steve and your staff again for making this happen. Yes. Now, we mentioned this at the Public Board of Regents meeting yesterday, but besides what I've already mentioned, the many accomplishments during Steve's tenure are truly remarkable, just 2 of which, of course, expanding the endowment 10x approximately, and especially the creation of the Lead Scholar Program. That is maybe one of the most wonderful scholarship programs we have at this institution. It does invaluable work that only the Alumni Association can do. So particularly thank you for that. So of course, and finally, again, from the bottom of my heart, from all of the board, thank you so much for everything you've done for this institution for almost 3 decades. Thank you. Next, I have the privilege to introduce State Representative and my friend, Yusuf Rabi. He is an alumni of the University of Michigan from 2010. He's just a kid. He's now serving in his 3rd term at the Michigan House as a representative of the 53rd District. He is my representative, and it encompasses most of campus and the Ann Arbor community. And he currently sits as the Democratic floor leader on the Committee on Government Operations. So, Yusuf.
Well, thank you so much to Regent Brown. I'm going to ask my colleague Felicia Brabeck if you could come up here with me as well. Felicia Brabeck is also a state representative from the city of Ann Arbor. She represents the 55th district, which is actually including the North Campus areas in her district, and then everything kind of around mine. So, as Paul said, I serve as the Democratic floor leader in the Michigan House of Representatives. It is truly an honor to be here with all of you today. So, of course, as a student at the University of Michigan, my main interaction with the Alumni Association was eating your bagels, which I appreciated, of course. But I know that the Alumni Association is so much more than that. And Steve, what you have done with this organization, and now I speak not just as a former student here, but as a representative of our entire community, and I stand here with my colleague, as the two representatives represent all of Ann Arbor. And we want to thank you, both of us, we want to thank you for the work that you have done to elevate this institution, not just the Alumni Association, but the entirety of the University of Michigan, and elevate our entire community in the process. The Alumni Association, as we all know in this room, it is not just about raising money. It's about changing lives for students. It's about changing lives for students that we don't even know are students yet, people that are yet to come, maybe people that aren't even born yet. But that's the whole power of the Alumni Association, is that you have created an institution where the baton is getting passed from generation to generation to generation, the baton of education. And for the last nearly 3 decades, you've been at the helm of making that happen. And so if we could all in this room give Steve the biggest round of applause in the entire world for the work that he's done, I would appreciate that. Hopefully you'll rise to your feet after this next one, but we also got a tribute for Steve. So Steve, if you would come on up here for just a second. This tribute is signed and dedicated on behalf of myself and Representative Braybeck, and also our Senator, State Senator Jeff Irwin, as well as the Governor, Gretchen Whitmer, and the Lieutenant Governor, Garland Gilchrist, honoring the service and dedication of Steve Grafton and his contributions to the Alumni Association. On your feet, ladies and gentlemen, for Steve. Thank you for all of your work. Steve, I think that it's your turn now. So that was supposed to be like the round of applause, everybody standing, round of applause, come on up, and then you're like, they're right there. So come on up, my friend. Thank you. Congratulations on your many years of service.
Thank you so much. Well, that was unexpected, could you tell? I'm really so grateful for all of you for being here. I have to tell, I'm just going to be honest, because that's, for once, I thought it might be a novel thing to try. I really thought this would be a great time to talk about this building and what it means to this university and to alumni, and I thought that this would be more about a focus about the building and the rededication. And so I guess what I would say though is that it's hard to separate what I see as the legacy of a building with the legacy of the mission behind that place and the people that are in it. And you know, one of the things when we started talking about redoing this space, it was a building built in 1982, and it was a beautiful, marvelous, award-winning building that was right for that time. But as we've come to understand the needs of alumni and the way they want to be engaged, we realized that just having some kind of static place that was not all that welcoming and warm was not the way to continue to engage people. And what we really wanted to accomplish with the renovation of the building, 2 things. One, to make it a place that alumni could feel like they could come and feel like they were home. And so as you walk through here and you use the technology, which is a way that most new alumni do anything, you will be able to find your place back home through that. And that's an important thing. The other thing was that we wanted to create a place that is acknowledged by the rest of campus as a place that recognizes the value of alumni to the life of an institution. And that's what my work has been about, is about trying to elevate the value that each of you brings to our institution in a way that results in tremendously positive change. So, you know, a lot of nice things have been said about me today, and I'm grateful for those. And I hope it's being recorded because I want to go back and over and over and over again. Especially those things that were said nice by my sons earlier today, since I remember some of the other things they said about that. But I would say that the things that have been accomplished, that I've been given credit for today to some extent, are about all of us. And if you want to honor me, then I would ask that you accept that place with me, that place of responsibility for the work that we've done, the place of responsibility for the work that has to be done. And we talk a lot about the Lead Scholars Program and its effort to try to create more diversity among the student population in Michigan. That's not just for those students. That is about trying to create the kind of place in which we all flourish. The Lead Scholars Program is a program, Bruce Corte, former member of the board who helped create it. It's a program that is intended to be for all of Michigan, for all of us in this room, and for all of those before us and all of those after us. And we still have a lot of work to do on that front. So what I hope you'll do today in honoring me is to commit yourselves to continue to work on these important things that need to be done. Thank you. I look around the room and I see the faces of people that, some of whom I haven't seen in a while. It's all of whom I haven't seen in person in a while. And that feels good. The hugs that I've been getting today, I mean, I'm gonna have COVID for 6 years. But I don't care. We'll just all get in a hotel room together and keep having fun. Thank you for coming. Thank you. And please, this is your building. Always think of it that way. Always think of how you can use this building to help our university to be even greater, because that's the challenge before us. A lot of opportunity, a lot of fun, a lot of chance to say, go blue. Thank you.
Keep it going from Steve Grafton and all the work that he has done. Okay, that's good. Again, thank you for all of our wonderful speakers who have come up to speak about Steve. Steve, again, thank you for everything that you have done. That brings us to an end of our formal program now, but we're going to keep this space open and the tent open and everything till about 3:30. So please roam around, learn about our programs, especially that Michigania table out there. But yeah, just enjoy yourself, because as Steve said, this is your space. So let's use it the way it was supposed to be used. Thank you, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your day. And go